Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show you how you can keep your items in your inventory over the whole game. So even when you change the level, for example, you have still the items in your inventory. And the second thing is how to actually use the items with an animation like this. So to keep the items over the whole game, we need an instance, so a game instance. So right click and we search for game instance. There it is, select it, and we call this my instance. The first thing is we go on the project settings, maps and modes, and select our my instance on the game instant class. So then we open this up and we have to move our inventory from the character inside the instance. So we go to the character itself, open this up as well, and here we have our inventory. So we have to create this in our instance. So inventory, this is an item that we created last time, and of course as an array. So on the player side we have 24 items last time, so let's do this as well here in the game instance, like that. And we go to the third person character. So let's start with the begin play event. So we can delete this part here. And instead of this, we pull this out here, get the game instance. From here we cast to my instance, uncheck this one, and then we get the inventory, pull this out a little bit more here like that, because now we need the length and put this into the slots like that. So now we just use the inventory from the instance instead of from the character. So the same thing down here, we have the inventory in the game instance, so we can delete this on the open inventory side here. And let's change up the widget here. So we go to the update inventory here, go to the details and remove the input. So now we have to set it, of course. So pull this out, same thing, get game instance, uncheck this here, cast to my instance, get the inventory, and then we just connect it. In this case we have to call the length function again and just put this inside here. As well, we go from the inventory, go to this get here, and when we now compile and save this, everything is fine. So we can close this here. The next thing is we go to the item class. We can remove the inventory part as well here, compile this. Of course, we go to the add item function of the item class and do the same thing. Remove the inventory as well. We have to change this later. Then we open up the item slot. We have to change the inventory as well here. Compile and save this. So this is the usage of the item itself, so we will change this later. First of all, let's go back to the item class. So we change the add item and depend item function. Let's go to the event graph, because here we cast to the third person character. That's okay, but we have to remove the inventory part here because we had to get the game instance here as well. Cast to my instance. And now connect it right here. Get the inventory as well. Put this into the inventory. The character can still the same, of course. Great. So let's see if this works. So when we hit play, pick up some items. This one here, for example. And I have a change level event in the hallway here. So now we change the level and the item's still in the inventory, of course, because we keep this in the game instance. So that's the first part. Now we want a functionality when we use the item that we have an animation and have maybe an effect on this. So to do this, we have to change the item structure that we created last time. So let's open this up. And currently we have the name, amount, thumbnail, and valid status. So let's add up some more. So I want the mesh itself. So the mesh will be a static mesh, so that we keep the static mesh in our inventory. In this case, the second one will be the state. And for this, we have to create a state machine. I already made a tutorial about that, but let's make this quick here. That's very simple. So blueprints, enumeration, state machine. Open this up and we just will add 2 states in this case, just for example, the normal state and the drink state. Great. So, and then we go back to our item structure, and the state will be our state machine that we created, like this one, and will automatically keep the normal state as a default. The next thing is the state usable. This will be a Boolean. And the last thing I want to add is the time. So that means that is the time that it takes to play the animation. In this case, it will be a float. Let's push this up here. Great, so this is our new item structure. And now we have to change this, of course, in our inventory itself. So let's open up the item class. When we now compile this and save this, you can see it already takes the new variables. So now we have to add up these inside our items that we created. So our book and our potion. Open this up as well. Go to the static mesh and put this under mesh here. The state will be drink. The time in my case is 3.8 seconds for the animation, and the usable state will be true. So compile and save this. Now we have to change this in our functionality. So let's open up the item class and go to the append item. So now you can see he adds up already the structure here inside. So when you take a look, we have to change a few things here like that. And now we just have to connect the mesh with a mesh, the state with a state, the time with the time, and the usable state with the usable state. Like that. The rest can still be the same. So compile and save this. And we can close this. The next thing we have to change is, of course, the event when we actually click on the item in our inventory. For this, we open up the item slot, go to the graph, and we have this functionality already here. So we have to change many things here. So let's move this up here. Can delete the inventory, uncheck this one because we have to get the game instance again. Cost to my instance, then get the inventory, and this will be, of course, the target inventory. But now we want to add up some more functionality. So I want a sequence. So this will be the normal case. Put this up here. We go from the inventory, get a copy, put the index up here. So the index goes into here, right click, split structure pin. So now you can see the new variables that we added. And what I want to do is I want a branch on this case, on the one case here. And this will be two situations that I want into. So I put this, copy paste the set array element, connect the target array, of course. So now it's special. So I want the condition will be, we go from the amount, check if it's equal to 1. So that means we have just one item of this in our inventory. So that means when we use it, it will be empty. So that's the true case. Otherwise, we just have to reduce the amount, of course. So we go from here, integer minus integer, keep this to 1, of course. So we do a right click on the item, split structure pin, move this down here, and this, of course, will be the new item amount. The index is, of course, the index. The name is the name, the thumbnail, the mesh, the state, time, usable, and valid. So this is for this part, so we just connect this as well with the update inventory. And now we have to do a part up here, and this will be for the actually animation. So let's go back to our character here, open this up. And what I want to do is we go to the viewport and we want to add a static mesh in the hand of the character. For this, we go first to the skeleton. So this one here. And I want to do this in the left hand. So here. You can see that's the left hand. We do right click, add socket. And we call the socket name to just left hand. And what we can do now, we can go right click, add preview asset, type in the potion that we want to add. And now you can see how it would be. So we turn this, move it a little bit more into the hand like that. Yes, great. Okay, now we can save this, copy the socket name. Then we go back to the third person character, select the mesh and say add static mesh. And this is the use item. Then we search for a parent socket and select our left hand, like that. Compile and save this. And what we can do now, we go back to the item slot. And then we go from the character here and set the static mesh for the use item. Like this. This is the state here. And then we just connect the mesh with a new mesh. Of course, again, from the third person character, we want to set the state. So we go back to the third person character, add the variable, and this will be the state. In this case, our state machine that we created. Actually, we can remove the inventory from here because we didn't need it anymore. So be sure that's in our instance. Go back to the item slot, and then we can just go from the third person character again, set state. As well, we connect the state with the state. Up here, want a little delay. We connect the time with the direction. And then again, want to set the static mesh, of course, of the third person character to nothing again. So it disappears what we used. And at the end, of course, we want to set the state again back to normal of the character. So now we want to add up the actually animation for this. So let's go and open up the third person animation blueprint, add up the new variable, so the state. This will be our state machine that we created. Then we want to set it, of course, go from the try get pawn owner, cost to our third person character, connect it right here, get the state from the third person character and just put this inside the animation blueprint state. Like this. Then we go to the animation graph, go from the idle, create a new state. For example, the drink state. Go back to the idle, and now we have to set the idle to drink. This will be the state, so get it. It's equal to, of course, the drink state. Connect it right here. Copy from drink to idle is of course the opposite, so the normal state. And now we just have to go to the drink animation and put in our drink animation, like this one. Link is in the description for the drink animation. So let's see if it works. We hit play, pick up this potion here, open our inventory, there it is. And when we click it, there is the potion, you drink it, now it disappears and he's back to the normal state. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, please let me know, and yeah, goodbye.